Alright, it's been a bit since I've worked on this. I did the Beaufighter in between. I sort of just did that start to finish anyway. Alright, so I've just been putting the stabilizers together. So you got two pieces for the top section and you got the two pieces for the bottom. So I just glued down the sides here so I could keep it, you can pose it. So I'll probably not major, put a bit of a angle on it in the display of it. Just adds interest of a model sitting on a table. That's why I usually do flaps down and put the rudder off a bit or something, just visually more appealing to me anyway, I think, than just sitting there everything all neat and tidy. So that's I've glued those two together. So that's your bottom piece. So get that off. So just you got those grooves that locks it in, so it can't come out. And then that one in, and I just held it like that and glued down the sides. If you do want it, I don't know the real thing how much of a, couldn't imagine it went as far as, obviously it wouldn't do that, but I don't know how far it actually go. But the more you open it up, you're probably going to need to clean up that seam joint, otherwise it'll stand out if you have it open too wide on an angle. Alright, back, all in and back to a gigantic thing now that I can't fit in the so I've painted the other, so I did I think I showed last on the bottom section, I put the clear parts in and I put the paint on the inside so I'll mask them off with Mr. Masking Sol. Mr. Hobby has the weirdest names for this stuff, but I won't use the brush because it's gigantic. I'll use a toothpick. And I've put in let me swing him around. So I've glued in the camera, so this is all that there, so several parts, the housing and then the actual camera. There's no positive slot or anything where it sits, it just sits there and glued it in. Flipping over, so I've got the glass in, or the clear part. I left that clear. I'm not sure if they're tinted. I've looked up images, but you don't really get right up close. So the aircraft is sort of from a distance, and from what I can tell, to me it just looks like clear glass. I don't think it's tinted, but I may be wrong, but mine's clear. But the actual camera, the lens, again, I think I showed last time on the other one, grab it, it's not the correct color, but just adds a bit of color, a bit of armored glass on the lens. Like I said, it's probably not the right color, but it's something rather than just clear plastic. So I'm ready now. I can put the cockpit in now that I've done that camera, and then I can, that's all done, I can gear door, I'm not worried about yet. I can put the fuselage together now. When I put the cockpit in, I'll just need to check whether they can go in after or they have to go in and sandwich in. I don't think. No, that'll be right. They're just tabs, so they can come in after. But I'll have to, if I want to pose them a bit, I'll probably have to cut those tabs off to give it a bit of droop. But I'm not there yet, so. And then it's pretty much, looks like I'll put some framework on the exterior of where the camera is, and then it's all these sensors and stuff going on, which is a lot of these. antennas and whatnot, but might be best to put them in later, because so I don't bump them and break them off. But I'll see what I can put in. So these I should be able to paint off. Again, I'll do a dry fit and check all that, what suits me best. And that's can go on later. There's more antennas and sensors, and then it's the gear doors which can go on last. And I've got to finish making up those bombs, the GBU-10s. Yes, so really not a lot construction wise to go, so I'll continue on. Alright, cockpit is in. I glued the back and the front because I didn't want to just sit in position. I've done a dry fit, sort of. This is really awkward now. It's because it's so huge and it's very chunky plastic. It's going to have to be glued in sections. I think it's going to fit alright. Some areas seemed a bit, like it had gaps, but I might be able to manipulate it a bit. Alright, that's 100 grams. I've looked up, the instructions don't say anything about nose weight, so I Googled it, or actually I chat GPT'd it. That's the AI search program. It seems to be, been using it for a while now. It's very quick with responses, and it's like gets averages, I think, of questions and that and answers. And it said 80 to 100 grams nose weight, otherwise it's a tail sitter. Now I can't confirm that. I don't know if that's right or not, but I don't want to risk it, so I'm going to put that in. It will fit there. I'll obviously glue that yet. I'm going to glue it with CA glue. I'll probably put some Tamiya tape or something over it as well, and I'll probably use a bit of white glue just in case the CA glue cracks away, and then it won't. By having both glues, it'll stay there. Right, I mentioned about doing the, what am I got here to the left? You actually do have to put these in at this stage if you want them like that, because I tried putting it in when I pinched the wings, the two halves together. It won't go in because it's so thick you can't get it in there. I need to clean that up yet anyway, but so I may not be drooping the flaps yet. I don't know. I'll have another dry fit and see what I think. I might just be leaving it in the up position. Yeah, it's really awkward now. It's so big. So I've sort this sinker out, and then I'll probably put it on and peg it, rubber pegs to hold it around the positions. This is such a large area that you're gluing. Everything's got to fit in, so yeah, it's going to be a bit of a chore. Alright, I'm holding the camera for this because it's so awkward. You can see I've got lots of things going on here. If you just sit the the bottom part of the fuselage into the top part, there's gaps. So what I'm doing is I'm gluing it gradually, and this clamp here is pulling the plastic out towards the top fuselage. You can see where the lip is on the glue line, because if that clamp wasn't there, it was pulling away. That was out. So I glue that section, let it dry. Then I'll move on down the other side, finish that off, and then I'll come around to the rear. I've decided I'm going to cut the pins off the control surfaces and put them in afterwards. If you cut the pins off, you can do that. And I'll have a bit of a sag on the control surfaces, just like I said, to add interest. I don't like everything in the up position. It looks boring to a display of a model. These rubber pegs, let me take that off. You see they've got a round surface. Oh. So where it's pinching, the glue can't hit it, so I'm not going to get chunks of rubber melted to my model. Yeah, so it's just a matter of glue a bit, wait, and then come around to the other side. Alright, it's glued together, the fuselage halves. A couple areas are going to still need a bit of putty. Got it the best I could, but there's still a couple of little gaps. I've inserted that. I don't know if that's a speed brake on it, or there's no detail inside anyway, and the instructions don't have an option for it open, so I've just glued it shut. I've put these pieces on. What else have I put on? These little sensors or whatever they are on the sides, and on the around the camera. I had the camera masked off, but I have to do it again because you have to put that framing around it, and it actually overlaps the clear part a bit. So I have to redo the masking because I wouldn't have been able to pull the Tamiya tape out once I glued that down. It would have made a mess. So I shall do it again. Let me flip him over. Yeah, the undersides still, the wingtips need a bit of putty. Again, I got them best I could, but there's still a couple of areas that will need some putty. Alright, I've primed the bombs, and I've used my homemade stencil. So I've put yellow and orange. I'm going to spray. I've got, I don't know, heaps of different olive drabs. I'm going to probably do a faded olive drab or something over the body, and then a normal olive drab on the head section and the fins, something like that, just to break it up. It's because it's such a 1/32 scale. It's 13 centimeters long, and it's hanging out the aircraft, so you're going to see it. So I'll try and liven up a bit. Unfortunately, I can't do my normal yellow band trick. I normally spray a yellow band and I put an O-ring over the nose of the bomb and then spray the olive drab over it. It's more natural looking than a decal. I'm going to probably try the decal on it. I don't like the decals, but I can't get an O-ring over that without breaking things, so I'll work something out with it. So yeah, so they're ready to paint. Yeah, I'm still thinking maybe all these little antennas and sensors and that, probably best to leave it off because it's so hard, not hard but awkward, because there you go, knocking stuff everywhere. It's just so bloody big. Yeah, so now I'm going to clean up some seam joins and that too, of what can be seen when I put the control surfaces in and everything.